Okay.
Hello, Sean. It's time for another Dynamo Tech update. How are you doing?
Well. How's it going?
Good. So I noticed your shirt earlier, but I was looking a little too closely at it. What do you got there?
Talk nerdy to me.
That's awesome. Did you get that yourself, or was that a gift from one of your kids, or what?
Oh, it's so funny. My kids, I have these T-shirts that have like holes everywhere in them, and like from 20 something years ago. I have no idea. It's obviously like 5 sizes too small for me because I'm pretty well fed during this point of my life, but. I don't know. My kid was just teasing me about it, and she said, "Didn't you wear that? In the New York house, which was like 6 years ago. So it has to be quite a while, perhaps even before that. I may have got this for my 30th birthday, which would be like
cool.
an age ago. So I don't know.
It's the old trends becoming the new trends again. That's awesome.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's start this off then. We've got a new algo switching in a little under an hour. Yeah, I think hopefully it's going to turn out to bring back some nice and much needed balance between AMD and NVIDIA.
Yep, I think based on all of our community testing and based on my own testing with the production cards that I have, so a pretty even parity between NVIDIA and AMD. So I think we're going to be in good shape here.
Fantastic. So if anyone is listening to this now and has not switched out the new algo hash text file, stop your full node and do it before the switch, so it's pain-free.
Yep.
Okay. Then on to staking and voting.
Yeah, so I think we've got some proposals for how we're going to do voting. We've got some help from the community on measuring blocks at certain heights and making sure that we can count the votes. It looks like everything is working. I've had several conversations over the last 5 or 10 days with a couple of people about getting that all working, and it looks like it is. So we can implement our voting mechanism by people sending coins and us counting their wallet balance. There was one little snag where, when you send from the QT wallet, if you say you have 10 coins and you send the 0.0001 coin, to the voting address, and you get the 9.9999 change back, the change usually goes to a new address, and so that would sort of invalidate the vote. But there's a setting in QT that we're going to have to tell people to do to not make a change address. Otherwise, the votes will be invalidated. I'm also looking at potentially having people be able to publish some kind of public master key, and then we can derive if the private key addresses are from it. I'm not sure. I got to still look at that. But one little snag there, but we'll sort it out this weekend. So I think we're in good shape on the voting. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Then let's move on to smart contracts.
Oh, well, we didn't even talk about proof of stake. So let's proof of stake. Monday. I think we're going to do some kind of I'll call it a proxy vote, right? So we'll have people have some choices. We'll have a menu of choices, maybe 4 or 5 choices per category, and people can do voting. Maybe we'll do ranked choice voting, so you vote for your first, second, and third favorite, or maybe first and second. I don't know, and then we'll see what ends up, because I think we need to make some decisions so that I can start programming this soon. So Monday we'll have the proxy vote published. I think we leave it open for at least a couple weeks, maybe 10 days, whatever. But yeah, we need to leave that, and then we'll have the real vote, and we'll move forward.
Right. So that'll be kind of a ranked choice for the reward split, and potentially some like term ideas or something like that.
Yep, all the different dimensions or choices that we might have. So we just want to gather community input on how they feel. And then
so when the majority appears, whatever the favorite is, then that gets put into the proposal, which then would be the consensus vote.
The final one proposal. Right. We'll make one proposal. It's got to pass a certain percentage. We got to figure out what that percentage is, but it's got to be pretty high because we need everybody to move their miners over So,
Yeah. Right.
so it's got to be pretty high. And, and then we'll do it.
Great. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now smart contracts.
Yeah, so we moved that down the list a little bit. I think only because we're not going to be using it for the proof of stake at all. So it will be, I would say, marginal value at this point, considering the complexity and all of the attack surfaces that it opens up. So I think we want to just move that down the list, move proof of stake to the front of the line. And then we can talk about that in a couple of months once proof of stake is in.
Okay, very good.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you said you had a little bit to say or update us on the investor marketing campaign.
Yeah, I think we've been waiting for the hashing algorithm to get tight. So if that's going in about an hour or so, if that all goes good, then I think we'll let it percolate for a couple of days. But then I think we really need to start looking at bringing in some longer term investors on the buy side, and so we're going to do that by taking out things like CoinGecko ads or Dex tools, or there's a play to earn website where we can list some of the things that we have going. So we really haven't made any public announcements of any of the things that we're doing. So I think it's time for us to do that.
Not quite there, but super close, it sounds like.
Yeah, I would say like early next week we're going to start making some noise about the coin. I mean, it's been around for almost a year, right? And we've been through a lot of different things. We have a lot of stories to tell. It's funny. I was cleaning out my Discord because I have all these groups that I join when I go look at other projects to see just get ideas about how they market or what they're doing. And there was 12 groups that I deleted. Every one of them had died after like 6 weeks. There was this huge hype, and we're going to change the world, and we're going to disrupt these things, and we're going to raise millions of dollars and all this stuff. And you know what? It just died. Every one of them. So I think, you look at this project, been around for a year, right? It's
right.
We've done the distance. So I think a lot of these other projects talk about a lot of stuff, but they never do anything. We've got a lot of stuff out the door already. So
yeah,
that's important. That's an important story to tell, that we're not just one of those other guys that disappears after 6 weeks.
Absolutely. Right. There's a ton of work being done continually behind the scenes on many different irons in the fire, so to speak.
Yep.
Okay. Then let's talk about the comedy game show. I know you had a recent meeting. How did that go?
It went great. We had the person that we're trying to convince to sponsor this, and then two of the other board members, Mike DeShio and Tim Beggy, on the call. And we got good feedback. He liked the idea of the show. So we're going to put together a pro forma of the show. This guy that we've been talking to, Nick Hopping, he's going to help us with producing a live comedy game show. It'll probably be 5 or 6 questions, and we'll have a website with live streaming video and multiple choice questions synchronized with his performance of those questions. There'll be some random audience member that he brings up and pitches the questions to, and tries to vamp off of their answers, and sort of do a whole bunch of improv right there. And then people will vote and move on to the next round, and we'll have some prizes based on that. And so we're going to take that whole pro forma thing, bring it back to the guy that we're trying to get to sponsor this, and see what he thinks. But he did also give us additional feedback this evening. He's interested in writing for some of it. So I think we're getting real close. These, I hate to say it, because these things take time, right? But we are continuously, we're hammering on this. So we're not giving up.
Getting people like that to do that and use the Dynamo name is a pretty big achievement.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I mean, this guy's a Broadway performer. I mean, like, he has his own show. So I mean, it's not like it's a nobody. So for somebody like that to, put their name behind a project that's virtually unknown, right? It's a leap of faith, right? And it's only
Yeah.
being done because of personal relationships, right? This is why we have a board, right? This is why we have people that I've known for 20 or 25 years who trust my judgment and believe in the things that I'm doing, and that I'm going to stick to it, and I'm not going to steal people's money, right? So that's the important and the power of what we have. So
it's those relationships and connections, and that's right. The trust that's been
so we're gonna we are leveraging the board members, which we promised we would do, and it's it's starting to bear fruit, but it takes a while.
Yeah. Well, I watched the short video on Nick Hopping. He's funny. So that looks promising. Yeah.
He's great. He's a diamond in the rough, and I don't mean that in a bad way. He's just an undiscovered gem, and I think we got really lucky. One of those sort of confluence of things that just came together to have him buy into this. So,
Right. Great. All right. Well, let's talk for a little bit then about the latest on Total Mayhem.
Yep. So we have a full-time developer on this now. We hired someone over the weekend, and he is now working on the playable demo. We have some milestones. I think we'll start to be able to publish some screenshots of whatever's going on. My partner Russell is still very, closed about the whole thing. He doesn't want to release out a lot of IP and everything else. And to be honest, we don't really want to say too much for fear of this patent issue coming up with trademark. But I think the company's out of business, so I don't think they would have any claim anyway. They couldn't say, "Hey, I'm using it in commerce, but I'm out of business," right? Like the company's gone. So I'm really not that fearful. But
there's been no activity over the last few months while we've been waiting already, so it's unlikely. No. Yeah. So everything's really still just on track for, I think, May 5th for that to expire, and a little bit after that, have a playable demo. Yeah.
Yep. I think we'll be in good shape. And I want to clarify. I made some announcements in the Discord, but we should clarify. We are planning to do the NFT issuance on Ethereum. So if people want to buy a Toad NFT, which is the playable character, that will be done on Ethereum. However, there's going to be an allocation of those Ethereum minted NFTs that are going to be available in Dynamo. So we'll make it available both in mainnet Dynamo and Wrap Dynamo. We'll just translate the price. We'll do that during the pre-sale and the minting period. I don't want to do it for too long because I'm afraid that that might be construed as like an exchange, because we're sort of exchanging Dynamo for Ethereum. Mm-hmm. It's through another asset, so I think it's really esoteric, and I don't think anybody would really complain about it. But if we did it on an ongoing basis, that would be definitely a problem. But I think for a short period of time to facilitate the sale, I think we can do that. So to clarify, it will be available to holders of Wrap Dynamo, to mainnet Dynamo, and to Ethereum. The reason we're doing it on Ethereum is to be able to put it on Rarible and OpenSea, which have the highest NFT volumes by far, of any of the NFT marketplaces. So we want to have the investor flows that are most familiar and easy for people, right? We want people to buy a lot of these things, and frankly, we want to bring in people who buy Ethereum NFTs are now going to be invested in a product that is primarily based on Dynamo, because all of the coin that you earn in the game is all going to be either mainnet Dynamo or Wrap Dynamo. So it's still going to be a translation. It's just that your investment of the underlying asset would be in Ethereum. So
absolutely good point. I was gonna bring that up too. When I first heard it, I kind of balked at first just because the transaction fees are so pricey and all that. But it's important to get new eyeballs engaged, and so going into that existing large market, I guess the largest market, to get new attention certainly seems like an intelligent way to go.
Yep. And I think the IP that Russell has created is really wonderful. I love the look of it. It just has the feeling, and he's created some great backstories, and the card looks really professional. Everything just really looks like it could be a winner. So Yep. So I think we're going to do well on that. And and then again, it's going to bring new eyeballs to Dynamo, and all the payments in the game are going to be in Dynamo. So they're still going to have all that transactional, all the transactional stuff that we're trying to get going. That's still going to happen, right? We're still going to have coins moving. So,
yeah. All right. Then I believe that brings us to our last topic for today, which is the biggest one. What do you have to share on Isle of Trials?
Yep. So I've had two technical updates in the last 5 or 6 days. I'm going to be pushing out another one tomorrow that will be a pretty big one. The update since the last time is that I have player housing. So I have this kind of modular player housing put together where you buy a house, but then it has, I would say, like associated outland things to it. So the first version has a house which has an interior that's modular. So if people who might be familiar with Skyrim, you can like buy a kitchen, or you can buy an alchemy lab, or you can buy a storage or a bedroom or whatever else, and each one has its kind of different attributes. I'm going to do the same kind of thing. So maybe like the basic house has 2 slots, let's call it, where you could buy, say, in slot 1 you can buy storage or a kitchen or a forge, and in slot 2 you can buy, I don't know, a bedroom or more storage or something like that. So you can kind of configure the house how you want. And then there's additional outlying items. So I have in the base building, I have 2 crops that you can buy. So you can kind of buy additional plots and then plant things, that'll grow. You have to get seeds, you have to water them, all those sort of Farmville kind of mechanics. I have 2 like corral areas where we can put animals. So we'll have like sheep or chickens or goats or cows, and they'll produce resources that do other kinds of crafting things. I have a couple of trees, like fruit trees. So we'll have like apples or oranges or pears, and then an herb garden where we'll have different flowers maybe, or different kinds of herbs that can do like potion crafting. So all of those kind of familiar MMO tropes, but only for you, right? So when you buy this plot of land, only you can access those things. So instead of having to run all over the map to collect those things, you log in once a day or twice a day, whatever the cooldown is, and go do your sort of daily chores, right? That kind of grindy task thing that people engage with in MMOs. So player housing will be published in some kind of form either tomorrow or Saturday, and then I'm going to move on to doing combat. It'll be the next thing over this weekend. So, yep, lots of.
Yeah, I think I believe that since the last update we've had, I don't think it was a downloadable, playable thing yet, but now it is. So this is available for people to go get and mess around with as we speak, right?
Absolutely. Yep, it's live. Every time I check, there's, I don't know, 2 or 3 people playing, which there's not a whole lot to do right now in the game except chop wood and gather stones and craft a couple of small, it's very sort of Minecrafty right now. But yeah, it's a fully functional MMO. You can chat, you can see other people in the game. It's a thing. It's a real thing.
And the link for that's on Discord.
The link is on Discord. I don't think so. It's on our itch.io is where it's hosted. Whenever I do an update video, I post all the links to it. So probably the best place to go find it is on our YouTube channel, because that also has the tutorials. I mean, there's like 0 sort of instructions on how to even the key bindings or anything right now. It's alpha, right? Very alpha, but yeah, you really have to watch the videos in order to understand how to play it. So I would suggest that if you want to play it, go to YouTube.
Yeah, links are right there in the videos.
And then all the downloadable links are there. Yep.
Super.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that brings us to the end of our list here, unless you've got anything else you want to share.
Again, I want to reiterate that, there's a lot of projects that have been out there that claim to change the world. They talk a whole lot and they take people's money and then they're gone in 6 weeks, right? And I think if anybody looks at the last however many months or whatever that we've been doing this, 11 months now, if they took a hard look, they would see, I certainly haven't made any money off of this, and it's, I've invested probably definitely well over $100,000 of my own money, plus my own opportunity costs, right? I've been working on this full time. So I think,
all the time.
Right. All this is all I do. I don't have another job. I don't do anything else. So, so I think, if people, want to doubt, I wouldn't say doubt the intentions, but doubt the success of the project. Think about the amount of stamina that we've had going into this, right? And hey, if people want to take a break and they don't think that we're doing anything that's great right now, come back in 6 months. We'll leave the light on for you, as they say, right?
Right.
That's right. We're gonna be here in 6 months or 12 months. We're gonna keep doing this. A lot of things take time. Right? How long did Ethereum take to launch? How long did Raven take to launch? Right? These things take time. And I know people don't want to hear that. Everybody wants a Lambo tomorrow, but good things take time.
That's right. Get rich quick schemes they're not really a real thing unless you're just extraordinarily lucky. Yeah.
Yep. That's a lottery ticket. We're not a lottery ticket. We've never been about that. We're about creating fundamental value and being around for the long term. And
right.
And that's
something real and of quality. That's right.
Yep.
I was, tell me if you've seen this too, just because of all your experience with developing software. But I've been working on another project, my regular job, and the production manager for a software dev team was talking about how you get to a point in development where things just feel like they've kind of slowed down. Not that they really have, but progress just feels like you kind of hit this wall, and it gets kind of discouraging. And a lot of people, involved with the project, like a lot of projects actually die at that point because it just, I don't know, people just can't seem to quite get over that hurdle. They're very close to a finish line, but they just kind of, it just feels impossible, or like it's taken forever to get to that next step. But once you do get through it, you get to where you're trying to go, and it's looking back, it doesn't look like that big of a deal. But I feel like, maybe that's a little bit of this phase we're in at the moment, and so some people who haven't gone through that kind of development cycle don't recognize it. Would you say you've kind of seen that as well, or?
Yeah, I would say, look, most of my experience is in very large corporations that have the money to push through that, that 5-yard line dilemma, right? But I would say it's almost a human condition, right?
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Right? It's the the new girlfriend or the new car or the new house or the new job or the new whatever. After 11 months, you're kind of like, well, it's not really new and exciting anymore, right? It's now, I got this great car, this great sports car, but now it's kind of just a car, right? So that's why I think a lot of things fall apart, in somewhere in between, say, 6 and 12 months because of just basic human lack of focus, right? That's just sort of how we're wired. This is really boring and it's not quite working out how I wanted it to. Let me just go move to the next best thing. Let me try something new, right? We all go through that in everything. And so that's part of it, right? Is when you go talk to investors and you say, hey, give me some money. Well, how long you been around? Oh, 6 months. Well, you didn't really make it through that honeymoon period. Come back in 6 or 9 months and let's see if you're still around, because, you might've got bored of it. And, when you start to get to that 1 or 2 year mark, that kind of separates the men from the boys. And you say, oh, okay, these guys are serious about it. They went through the dark before the dawn, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, you made it through. And so, yeah, I could see that, at about 11 or 12 months, well, more for me, right? Because I started this in February of last year. But yeah, from a community standpoint, we were hyped. The price was way up. Lots of great things coming. We keep talking about, something's going to be delivered. Stuff gets delayed, whatever, right? So, so those things sort of discourage people. And I think, my advice again is, we got the stamina, we got the backing. I'm fully committed to this. We're gonna get there.
Yeah, I think it comes down to looking at the big picture and, at the items that are important, which I think really is just the people, and that they show up, that they are still engaged and working on things, and not just talking the talk, but walking it too.
Yep.
So,
Well, and that's it, right? Most people just run out of hot air after 6 weeks, right? Which I saw in my Discord. Like, okay, there's 12 things. Everybody said they were going to be the next best whatever, and then they were gone. They were literally tumbleweeds everywhere. So, yeah, yep. So
awesome.
We shall keep it going. Yep.
All right. Okay, well, I believe that's everything then for this one. Hopefully we'll be able to bring you another one next week. And happy algo switch. Hopefully this is the last one for a little bit, but if we need to switch it again, this is what we, built this system to do. So we
absolutely.
will.
Yep. Half an hour. So everybody watch your full notes.
All right. Well,
cool.
Then go ahead. Was that it?
No, I say cool. Yep.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, then be well, everyone. More fun tomorrow. And till next time.
Yep. See ya.